Hello ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to yet another video of my condition build thief. In this video I'm gonna explain a few things about the new patch, about the new gear, about the new... I'm using a new rune as well for specific fights and battles and situations, or actually it's like for a specific area in the game, and I'll explain everything right now. And I actually, after posting a few builds on Reddit, there was one person that suggested that I should use, like, I should upgrade my conditions a little bit on a different aspect. I've tested out, and it works quite well. It works quite well. It's a sacrifice, but it works quite well. Okay, so I'm gonna show you everything in this video, as you already know it. Now we're gonna start with full explanations on PvE and PvP. I mean, in WvW, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so as you can see, those are my stats right now. My HP will change in every video. I don't really change the gear, and even if I do change the gear, it's the same HP stats, but it changes because of the WvW buff. So right now my condition damage is 1.3k. It's unbuffed, with no food, with no nothing, and you can notice something different in here, don't you? 3k armor, right? Now 3k armor comes from these stats. It's toughness, vitality, condition. Those are the dire stats, okay? You can buy them from vendors in this game, from one vendor in the game. You can see the dire stats on my pistols and daggers as well. The runes are still the same runes. I still go for 95% duration. Don't forget, this is my PvE build, okay? This is my PvE. This is what I use in dungeons. This is what I use for champion kills and etc, etc. Let me just skip this area that... well, actually we're almost here. Later I'm gonna show you something on a practice dummy. You're probably gonna love this. It's quite well. Actually, I'll show it to you in WvW. Okay, so if you want to buy... what was it? I think this one. If you want to buy dire gear for any... no, wait. Is it COE? I think it's COE. Let me just ask him, for example. Yes. And armor. Is it? Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. It was Inquest, or... I don't even freaking remember anymore. Yep, there you go. Okay. So if you want to buy gear from COE, you need those knowledge crystals. You need quite a lot of them. Just calculate it. 180, 300, 180, 330, 210, and 180. So roughly, I don't know, 1k or something like that. More?
No refunds.
Yeah, probably more. 1.2k or something, 1.3k, whatever, something like that, right? So that's how much runes, I mean, knowledge crystals you're gonna need. Or you can buy them on, oh, it's down for maintenance. Freaking great, right? Right. Now, what was the name of it? Oh, it doesn't even show me because it just says Crichton. I think it's Errol, like ERROL gear. You can buy it on the trade post. Basically, I took as much as I could from him for my crystals, and the rest I bought from the trade post. That's what I did. Okay. Now we're going for skills and traits. Okay. Now in skill and traits, we still use 30 points in Shadow Arts, like the MITY Syndrom, and Acrobatics 20, Trickery 20. We still remove 3 conditions every time. We're still going stealth every time we steal, and we regenerate well in stealth. All those, as I said before, this is for PvE. That means champions, that means world events, that means dungeons. That's what it means, okay? When I dodge I get might, and when I do any initiative like ability like Cloak and Dagger, like Death Blossom, like Shadow Strike, and etc, etc, Heartseeker that I rarely use, almost never, then I'll get healed. Now I leave Caltrops every time I dodge, obviously, and this is the one that I'm actually using. because it has been buffed, and I was like thinking twice if I should use it or not use it. I mean, Thrill of the Crime, it gives me Fury, Might, and Swiftness, okay? Now this one comes more into play with the next thing that I'll show you, but it depends on the situation. Like I said, every fight is situational, and luckily you can change your traits and utilities for everything, but sometimes you cannot do it because the fight drops at you, so you need to be ready, alright? Now this Ricochet is really awesome because you can spread your bleeds, especially when you use number 1 with your pistols, okay? Because it gives you 50% of your pistol shots will bounce to another target. Now this bounces not only to one target, it can bounce, like if you shoot at one mob and it has 2 nearby friends, you can spread the bleeds up to those 3 guys, okay? That's as far as I could see so far. Let me just test it on this dummy. Let's see. You can see it spreads, you can see like 1, 2 and sometimes 3 as well. Right? There you go. Now if you do this and you do this, right, you could see a lot of spread, okay? For AoEs, people have been asking me what do I use for AoE. Mainly I use this one, Caltrops, I use this one, Dagger Storm, and I use Death Blossom, that I just put bleeds on 3 targets that are nearby. But if you're using right now pistols, because you know this build is based on swapping weapons, because you gain might stacks for it, which is increasing your condition damage, right? If you use sneak attack or normal attack and this spreads, that's also a quite nice AoE, okay? So this is the PvE build. We already know everything, right? Every time we swap, 3 stacks of might, same thing. This one has agony, which means increase the duration, okay? In here totally we have 50, how much is it? 55% condition, 45 from gear, 55 bleed duration, 45 from gear and 10 from agony. With this food, where is it? This food, again 40 condition duration, that puts bleeds on 95 bleed duration. And again some condition damage, and this one will just give me raw condition. Now this food, this mustard tuning crystals, comes into play really strongly with this gear, okay? Because look at the stats. It gives me condition damage equal to my toughness. Now my gear is based on toughness, vitality, and conditions, of course. So this one gives me 6% of my toughness and 4% of my vitality. This is quite a good buff to my condition in total. Just think of it, 3k armor in an instance, alright? Or against champions. I've tested a few champions. You remember my champion risen, what was it? Champion risen giant fight, right? At the end of the fight or at the mid fight, I think I go down or something like that, and I rally on one of the worms and whatnot, and my HP sometimes was at like 25 to 50%. I did it today solo, and my HP was, for the most part, was around 80%. Only once it dropped below 80 to around 60, and again HP, like my HP back up to 90% or something like that almost instantly, just from the grubs. Just do some AoE with Caltrops and Dagger Storm. It's freaking insane because I take much less damage now, alright? And with the food I do much more damage with conditions because I gain the buff from the from my toughness. I mean this toughness, right? Just take 6% out of this, okay? It might not sound too much, but I gain almost 120 condition damage just from those, okay? Because if you think about it, 1000 toughness, that equals like 6% of that. That is 60 to my condition damage, okay? With this, it's almost on 2000. That means I almost get 120, probably around 110, 100. It's over 100, obviously. But just that, this is extra damage because every 20 condition damage is 1 more bleed, you know? So yeah, it's quite a big buff. Okay, now we're going to go into World by World, where I'll show you something really nice. I'll be right back. Alright. It's not exactly World WvW, but I forgot that there are no training dummies in World WvW, so we're gonna have to show it in Lion's Arch. Hope it will work properly with the recording and whatnot. Alright, I transferred myself, like, not transferred, but guessed myself on a, like, I don't know, smallest communities server that I could find, like, so I wouldn't have too much FPS issues in Lion's Arch, because in Underworld we have, like, huge amount of people, so, yeah. Okay, so, as you can see, no stats changes, no nothing, blah 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 blah, you know, except for the HP change. Right, so let's let's just guess that I'm on the World WvW, yes? And I'm using my pistol-dagger build, and I'm using my Venom Scale, and I'm using my Needle Trap, which I was told that this is probably one of the worst utility you could use, blah blah. It's not really, because with this one, right, I've managed to immobilize three players, just laughing at their face while I'm doing it, right? 3 of them got poisons, okay? So I just spread three poisons, like, to 3 players, and I immobilized them. And since I'm using Ricochet, I actually dropped more bleeds on them, and they were all in caltrops. So no, it's not a freaking pointless thing. It's freaking awesome. If you don't know how to use it, then yes, it's pointless thing. Learn how to use it, you'll be thanking me. Good day. But Ricochet is awesome, so yeah, good point there. Okay, 30, 20, 20, same PvE like stats. We just changed this one, going stealth on nearby foes, blinds nearby foes, right? We're still removing conditions, we're still getting regen, we're still using the Assassin's Reward, and gain inertia, gain might every time I dodge, power of inertia, sorry, and dropping caltrops and Ricochet, just to spread stuff. Now, this is when this comes into play, and it's really, I'm not sure if to call it really a hard decision, because you'll see, right? You'll see in a second. Okay. Now, the new rune that I was talking about, the new gear, right? I'm using dire gear, as you can see, but check out the rune. This is superior rune of the noble, okay? It gives you maximum condition. I lose 55% duration, because in World WvW I can use my food, that gives me 40% duration. But then again, in World WvW, some of the players, let's just say, I'm not really sure about the numbers, but let's just say 50% of the players will use condition removal abilities, or, you know, stuff. So the duration is not as big of a play there, but it still counts, guys. It still does count, okay? I'm still getting like 40% condition duration, so it's quite awesome. So I'm getting maximum conditions out of any runes that I can actually have, and I'm getting might duration, and every time when I'll use use heal, I'll gain 3 stacks of might. Now you could see with my boon duration, I get 20%. Okay, that means if I'll use 10 seconds might, the 10 seconds might will last 12 seconds. Now with this rune, I have extra 40% to my might duration, which means 10-second might becomes 16-second might, and 20-second might becomes 32-second might. Okay. Now I'm gonna kinda test out and show you how it works. Also, don't forget that stealth gives me might, and dodging gives me might, right? And swapping weapons gives me might. Now in PvP I'm using hiding shadows, and with just for the show of it, I'll use hiding shadows, doesn't matter. Hiding shadows will give me 5 stacks of might, 3 from the heal, 2 from the stealth. Okay, let's just test it out. Okay, let's say I'm attacking, right? First of all, let me burn my dodge. Okay, so that will start regaining, and then I'll use swap weapon. Okay, so 1 dodge, 2nd dodge, let me swap weapon, let me go stealth, let me use this, dodge again, alright, let me go stealth again, wow, that lagged, never mind, dodge again, okay, let me heal, already 19 stacks of might. 3 stealth, 21, 20. Okay, more dodging, swapping weapons, 22, 24. Right? You getting the picture? No? Not yet? Alright, let's try a little bit more then. It drops to 17, of course, but that's because of the cooldowns on it. You know, it's not forever, right? But you get the picture, right? Okay. More dodging, more weapon swapping, more stealth. Come on, stealth, good. Right, next will be the heal. After all, I'll swap weapons probably. We swap weapons, heal up. There you go, 23 stacks of might. More dodging. More stealth. But yeah. 24. So yeah, basically I can keep up once we drop to like 17, once I got the rotation done. But yeah, there you go, 18, 19. If I keep the rotation like this, and you know, from the videos you saw in my fights, like 90% of the time I do keep the rotation like this, then I can be on 20 stacks of might most of the time, right? Now, let's stop that. Stop that. Oi, stop that. Okay. So, this is the hard part now. Like I said before. Ricochet is freaking awesome when you fight like 2 or 3 mobs, or if you're attacking a camp and someone comes by and you kill that guy with the camp people's whatever, right? But Thrill of the Crime will give me 16 seconds of might every time I steal, and my steal is on like 29 seconds on cooldown, right? Let's say 30 seconds. So yeah, half of the duration of the steal I'll have might. Now you could see that I could quite easily pass the 22, 23, 24, like get to 24 stacks of might, right? Now, this one is actually like, this will definitely boost my might stacking, but Ricochet does come to play a lot in World v World. So it's up to you guys. Me personally, I use Ricochet more and more now in PvE and in PvP, just to jump into from World v World to normal PvP. In normal PvP, I've changed from deadly traits, 20 points in deadly traits, if you remember it. We had, what was it? Venomous Strength, that means I gain 2 stacks of might for 20 seconds. Every time I use Venom, and I do use Venom scale in PvP. And then we had the... No, that's not it. Yeah, that's it. Venom skills recharge 20%. Faster. That means it was on like 35 seconds instead of 45. Right? So yeah, I changed that into a build that goes into trickery, right? Into Ricochet in trickery. So I gain extra condition damage. I gain less recharge on my steal. I do lose the condition duration in that build, but I do use the like 45% if I want, or I could go for condition damage with vitality and 5 out of 6 runes, and then the 6th rune will be 28 condition damage. Now if you want to get the noble rune for the gear, for the might stacks, you can get it in here. There you go. Each rune is 120, so that means you need 600 seal of beetle, whatever the name is, to get this. Okay, this is how I changed my playstyle. I did add Ricochet into my playstyle. I changed the gear to dire, of course. I am going for the Ascendance weapons right now. They're quite hard to get, especially with my busy schedule every day. And I gone for 6 runes of noble. Okay, just to gain like a lot of might. And you could see, I just demonstrated live how it works, okay? And obviously when you are playing, you're not focusing on commentating and paying attention how many stacks of might you have. You're focusing on keeping the rotation up and killing your target, okay? Now if you keep the rotation up, you're definitely up to like, you're definitely above 15% stacks of might, and you'll probably reach 25 stacks of might. And if you have like another buffer of might next to you, then it's freaking awesome. That's it, guys. That's about it. That's the build. I don't know, whatever you think of it. Hope you enjoyed it, okay? Just consider on the points that I've mentioned. If you have more questions about it, you can always write the comments below and ask the questions, or just send me mail in game. You know, you're not the only ones that do it, so yeah. Hope the build will help you out, and I hope you enjoyed it. Now I'm gonna go back to my own server and wait for more videos. They are coming. I'm working on a few videos now. So yeah, have a good one. Bye bye.